The M or the B? The M, right? M is our steepness. So in each of these equations, you are going to number them from the steepest one being 1. We did not graph these, right, on the back. 21 to 24 to 26. 1 is the steepest, and 6 will be our flattest one. Okay? Now, the question always comes up, does positive or negative matter? Positive just tells us the direction. Negative just tells us the direction. So please just think of that number in front of M and start. So when I look at 21 through 23, I'm always looking at, we said, the M, right? So that is the y equals, I'm looking at this, right? That tells me the steepness. Anyone want to tell me my steepest one from 21 to 26? Which one is the steepest? Which one should I have a 1 next to? What should be my steepest one? Should it be 23 or 26? 26, because it's a what number? Well, it's 7. 7's farthest from 0, right? This is my steepest one. That's when I'm going to put a 1 below. Please do that right now. That is my steepest. So with steepest, please put a 1 to the flattest being 6. If you didn't write that, then when I see your homework, like I'm going to wonder what the 1 to 6 are, right? So I'm looking at that 1 to 6, and I know that that's my steepest, is negative 6. What would be the next one? What's the next steep? Which number? What do you think, Katie? 25. So I go from 7 to 5, right? That's the next steepest. So I want you to put the numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 right now on your paper. And you're going to check with your shoulder partner to see. Number 3, if I am looking at this one. Nikita? 22. I'm going to go to the number 4, right? That's going to be less steep. Okay? So I had 7, 5, 4. Next one should be Isaac. Should be next to go to 24, going with the 3. So between 21 and 23, what is my flattest line? 23 is the flattest, right? This is the 6, and this is 5. Okay? Because you're going from 7, 5, 4, 3, then we have 1 and 2/3, right? Anytime you have a fraction, that's less steep. And the smaller the fraction, the closer to 0, the flatter the line, right? What's our flattest line?
0, 0.
0, when the slope is 0, right? We got our face here. When the slope is 0, that's our flattest line because it's horizontal. So I now want you to turn your notebook to back a page to E9. We also did not graph in E9 7 to 12. This time we're not going to go steepest to flattest. This time I want you to tell me number 1 is going to be the line that is the flattest, okay? And you're going to go from flat to steep, and the steepest one is actually going to be the number 5. And someone said, but there's 6, because 2 of them tie. So you can put the same number. So, anyone want to start us off with our flattest one? What's my flattest one? Jerica, you got it? 8. No. There's one flatter. Isaac, got it? 11. Did everyone agree with 11?
Yes.
What's the slope in 11, Isaac? It's 0x plus 7. If it's 0, that's as flat as you can get, right? I agree. Number 11 is my flattest. Because they don't write the slope as 0, but it is 0. So now you're going to go up from there. So go 2, 3. If there's 2 of the same number, do that. Okay? Rylan, what did you guys have for the next one?
10.
10 next. No. I disagree. Anyone in your group have something different than 10? 8. So I want you to look at 10 is the slope. Here the m is 1, actually negative 1. That means it's down 1, right, and over 1. Down 1 and over 1. Okay, that's what that steepness looks like. This one has a steepness of m equals 1/5. That means the rise over the run is meaning I'm going up 1 and I'm going over 5, right? This one should be number 2, right? It's way flatter, okay? So 1/5. What's going to be my next one? The group have the next one. Erin, do you guys have it?
3, the third one. Is it for the third one?
Yes, for number 3.
So it'd be 12.
It'd be 12, okay? We're going from 0 to 1/5 to 3/4 to now what?
16.
10 and 7 are both going to be the same, right? They both have a slope of 1. So those were my ties. This is a positive one, but its steepness is the same, right? Steepness is the same. Going up 1 and over 1 is the same as going down 1, same steepness. And then this would be my number 5, okay? So when you are looking at these, M tells us steepness, right? So during class today, okay, as I look at 33, you can look at your I can statements up above. It says identify the slope and y-intercept, then graph it. So first thing over here, we're going to fill in this vocab. Linear equations can always be written in the form, and the form that I'm looking for is that we are going to write them as y equals mx plus b. So please write that first part, y equals mx plus b. We are also, it is also known as what's called slope-intercept form. So those were your 2 blanks that you were filling in. Make sure your shoulder partner is right. Y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept. As I look at that first equation, you would tell me that b is equal to what number? 3. Or we could write it as the ordered pair 0, 3. Here's a mistake that I had some people do on every one of their graphs. They said, oh, 0, 3, that's over here. This isn't 0, 3. 0 means don't go left and right, go up 3. So please go up 3. This is always on the y-axis, okay? Then we know our slope or our movement in this one is -2. And we want to write that as a ratio, so it's -2 over 1. The number on top tells us up and down. The number on the bottom tells us left and right. So the first few homework questions, I'm going to just ask you to graph. So if we're looking at this, we are now going to go down 2 and over 1. Is my line going in the right direction for my face of the negative? Down 2 and over 1. And usually I'll ask that you kind of fill in as much of the graph as you can with those points and take your straight edge. I saw most of you got straight edges when you first came in, so thank you for doing that. And we are going to put that line, and we are going to put arrows. So if you don't have arrows, it's segments, and we're not talking about a segment, we're talking about a line. Okay? So these first 2 are kind of review. Take a look down at that next part down. We're going to do our vocab. So that's this one. Okay. You're okay doing that next part. So the next part, again, we want to look at that vocabulary. It says linear graphs are always straight lines. Thus the word line in linear. The M value stands for the, what did we just talk about? What of the line? The steepness. It tells us how steep it is. And the y-axis is telling us, the y-intercept, the B, tells us where it crosses the y line. Key thing, it must be on this line, okay? Always on the y-axis. So the M tells us how steep, it's always a straight line. Looking at this one, can you tell me the B, where it crosses the Y line? 0, 6, right? So right away in my equation, I can already put the 6 in, right? Plus 6, right? First part of it is going to be Y equals, and I need an X. I need to figure out the number that's in front of X. Is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative, because my line, if we think of our face, right, positive, negative, this is a negative slope. So we know it's going to be negative. And then if you pick points close together, you don't have to simplify as much if you pick points farther away. But I'm looking at this point, and I go, So I'm going down. Remember, M is our movement, and it's always rise over run. So we're going, is it 1/3 or 3?
1/3.
3 over 1 or 1 over 3?
Oh, voice crack.
You're going down how far? 1. Down here, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, across 1. 3 over 1. Remember, 3 is way steep. 1/3 is really flat, right? Okay, so thinking about that. So we have y equals negative 3x plus 6. Okay? So some of your homework are going to give you graph. So this homework is 3 pages long, so it gets really long because you have a bunch of graphs and you have to write the equation. You have to write the slope and the y-intercept. Okay? We have not done a lot with tables. You will have a couple of tables on this test when we do this test. So if you turn to the top of the next page where you see the tables, it is asking you to first identify your slope and your y-intercept, then write an equation. Now, at the end of period 4, I had a student who I thought was taking really good notes. And then they got to the tables in their homework and she said, Mrs. Thompson, how do you find the y-intercept in this table? So here's what I want you to write. Please put a little asterisk up here to find the y-intercept, to find B. Okay? To find B. B, when you are looking for that, you are going to look at your table when the x value equals 0, what the y value is. Okay? So these two things are going to be the exact same. So in this table, do you see an x value of 0?
No.
Yes, right here. Negative 6, negative 4, x is 0. What is our y value? Negative 1. So right away I can say B equals negative 1. I need to find my movement. Here's the other thing I thought the person wrote in their notes. I thought they wrote down how to find the movement. Now, sometimes it is super easy. Like table 2, it's easier than table 1 to find the movement. But table 1, I want you to put, to find M, we are going to put the change in y. Right? Remember we found slope right at the beginning? Change in y divided by change in x. Remember the graph worksheet that some of you just turned in today? What does change in y mean? It means take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I'm going to highlight these two things afterwards because this is kind of the really important part of writing these two answers, right? And then if we are looking at this part, so does it matter what 2 points you pick for M? No. So, I mean, you could pick negative x's, but I'd either pick the 0 or one of the positives. Why? I'm a positive person, it's the end of the week, right? Yeah. It's warmer than, like it's above freezing in Fargo, it's not 20 below, so we're going to go positive.
It's all warm.
So, first off, tell me the ordered pair. What's the x, what's the y? Someone give me one of the ordered pairs you want to use. Eric. Okay, we're going positive, Eric. Positive.
Okay, 2 and then
2 and 2, right? Okay. Isaac, did you want to give me another one?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Okay, does that make sense to everyone that those are my, so everyone put these 2 ordered pairs. 2, 2, and 4, 5. So if I subtract, what's my y coordinate here? 5 and 2, right? So I'm going to go with 5 minus 2. What do I have to have on the bottom? 4 minus 2. What is my m value equal to? 3. 5 minus 2. Got to write this down. Over 4 minus 2, which is 2. I think this one is harder than some of the ones that are in your homework, but you do have to do some harder ones like this in your homework. So this is my m value. So, find the slope, we did that. Find the y-intercept, we did that. Write an equation. My equation will be y equals, Riley, what am I going to start with? Y equals, what's my slope? 3 over 2, x, and then Urban plus -1. Next table. Do you see a 0?
No.
Definitely not. But where would 0 be in this string of numbers?
It'd be 6.
Right before that 1, right? Does that make sense? You could put it behind the 6, but to me, I'd want to put 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Does that make sense? We're thinking it. So let's go back. So how is the x changing?
0.5.
From 1 to 2, that adds how much?
1.5.
Wait, from 1 to 2, how is the x changing? 1. You're trying to tell me the y, Wally. I appreciate that, but we're just looking. All of these are 1s, right? How is the x, the y changing? Murders. So, is it a positive 0.5?
Negative.
Minus 0.5. Is it always that?
No. Yes.
Yeah, that's the pattern. That's kind of nice, right? So, if I have 0, and this was 4.5, please write down what you think this should be. Don't say it, don't blurt it, write it down. Don't say it. If this is going down by 5, we could go up, or going down by 0.5, we could go up by 0.5, write down the number. What do you think that should be? Put the 0 in there. Put this stuff that I told you to write that's highlighted and leave that on there, okay? So, if we are going the opposite, going down is subtracting 0.5, right? We're going to add 0.5 and we should be at 5. So B equals 5. What would you say my M equals? How is it changing? No, how is this change in y divided by change in x? My change in y was negative 0.5. What was my change in x? 1. So could we just say that this is negative 0.5?
Yes.
So my equation, y equals, Emma, start us off.
Y equals negative 0.5.
And then we're going to have our x. And then I'm going to have plus, Nolan,
Plus 5.
plus 5. So the vocab for this part says, linear tables always show x values and y values change by. The word we are looking for is that they change by adding the same amount over and over. So if you think of these two tables, that same amount in the second one was subtracting a 0.5. This one, as you added 2, if we were looking at this, down here you were adding 3. So change in y always divided by change in x. Okay? All right, so you're going to have some of those where you have to write equations. I just want you to look at these 4 equations, and it says predict what you think they would look like. Explain your prediction. Do you agree? Please put those points and draw. Take your straight edge, and if you draw one line, then you really can just move your straight edge to the side, right? So if I start with this one, and if I'm making this point, and I went up 3 and over 1, and I take my straight edge, now I can move it over to here and keep it parallel, right? And draw the next one. Make sure it goes through 0, 0, okay? keeping that same slope. So, slopes are the same, parallel lines. What changes it on our graph is that we are going to have, so even if you don't have yours exactly right, please make sure you draw all these slanted lines. It doesn't have to be perfect for me. These are your notes. And some of you never look back at them ever again, but at least you'll have something to take a look at, right? So they're different because of the y-intercept, but they're the same because they have the same steepness, same slope. This last part of your notes, you have that whole bottom page of page 35 to continue what's written. And so when you look at these, Jeffrey, you want to read the comparing and interpreting relationships, what it says?
3 people were scuba diving to visit an underwater reef. Here is some information that was collected. Find the slope and y-intercept for each and explain what both numbers mean.
So we're finding the slope and y-intercept. So, anyone ever gone scuba diving?
No.
Anyone ever gone snorkeling?
No.
Okay. So a lot of times if you're doing that, you're going to start underwater. We do go scuba diving later this year when we go up to north through science. But this one is saying your depth. So if this is 0, 72 is what? Are you above water or below water?
Low.
You're way below, right? You're down 72, in this case, feet. And are you coming up or going down further? Right? Because this is getting closer. 0 is the surface, right? Does that make sense to people? 0 is the water surface, right? So when you're at 0 sea level, you're right at water level, and if you go deeper, okay? So this is not telling us negative feet, it's just telling us feet. So, could we find our y-intercept? 72, right? Can we find our slope? Does it matter which x, y you use? Nope, x, y, x, y. Do we want to use 72, 072, 139, or 26? Which 2 points? I have 2 of them, right? So if I go 072, remember, 72 minus what? What's my other y? 39. So what is 72 minus 39? 33. How about if we take then our 1? So now if I go, do I put 1 minus 0 or 0 minus 1? 0 minus 1, because 0 goes with the 72. So this is going to be a negative. So this slope is negative 33. Now, this is where I'm talking about in your notes, where the information that you're writing, you can go with this and go all the way down this page, right? So if you need to think of drawing a line down here, and if I was looking at this and I start trying to interpret this, I could actually put a line and I know you got this whole white page going down. So here's what I want you to write. This is kind of the interpretation, and this is when we take our test, what I'm going to ask you to do. And I'm going to show you what they have written, so please copy this. Make sure your partner is copying at the same time. M means the diver is going up 33 feet a minute. It's negative. Why would that be going up? Because in this situation, you're starting down at 75, right? And so you're actually going to be, okay, so negative 33. Keywords, that feet, up, feet per minute. It says underline. The underlined words are required. So when we take the test, this is what your answer is going to look like. The B means the diver started at 72 feet below sea level. Okay? So that person, Barry had a slope of 0. It's a horizontal line. It means that the diver is not going up or down. We want to copy down 0 feet per minute. The M means the diver started and stayed at 75. They're not down there that long that they're looking at this, right? This was just 2 minutes. Not really. So they're just sitting down there looking at the fish, right? Just staying right where they're at, just staying at that level. What's happening to our last person?
I drowned it.
This person started at, what's our y-intercept? 12 and a half, 0, 12 and a half. And what's happening for our slope?
Going up, yeah.
This one is up positive 25. Now, is that really going up or is that going down?
Oh, it's not down. It's going.
Okay, so this is at 12 feet. And to get this answer, what we're doing, again, 50 minus 25, right? XY, XY, over 1.5 minus 0.5. That's 25 over 1 or 25. So this 25, does it mean we're going up or going down? What did you guys decide?
Going up.
We are going up. So again, as I'm looking at this response, I want to say that M means that this time our diver is going down, going deeper into the water, 25 feet per minute. Kind of fast, right? And the B means the diver started off at 12 and a half feet below the sea, and they're going deeper. So there's like more stingrays or more fish, colored fish that they want to see, right? So they're going deeper and deeper, okay? I will leave this up so that you can make sure you have it